Welcome back, everyone, to another Fresh Crack Live. This is where I do the first sip of whiskey out of a fresh crack, something I've not had before or not had for a long time. And I get into it, give you kind of my first impressions and what I thought about it, where I got it, how much it cost, those type of things. I also want to let you know that tomorrow night, Grease and I are doing another Drinking With episode, and it will be with Whiskey with a View. That is an Instagram account. If you don't follow, you should. Nate Woodruff. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun, learn his story a little bit, and just, do our thing where we sit around, have a few drinks, have a few laughs. And so I encourage you all, if you're watching now, to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you don't already, so that you'll get that notification when you ring the bell that we're live tomorrow night. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I suspect that there will be maybe fewer viewers tonight live, but the video will go up obviously later as well of this because it's Valentine's Day. But I figured not everyone had Valentine's Day plans. My wife's birthday is this week, so normally we do kind of a birthday celebration combined thing. So I'm a little bit off the hook, but I can't be on too long. But I also know that not everyone has Valentine's Day plans. So thought I'd get on here, pour up some whiskey, let you know my thoughts and all that. I see we got people watching. I'm going to look down from time to time at the comments. If you got any questions or anything about what I'm drinking, where we're going, go ahead and do that. I'll look down occasionally, but I'm going to show you now what I've got. So this is from Jack Daniel's. I picked it up at the distillery the other day because Grease and I actually got to go do a barrel pick. We picked a rye with Don from Fairview Liquors and Fine Wines out in Fairview, Tennessee. But this is one of their Tennessee tasters. And that's kind of an experimental series they've started doing. Done it for a couple years now. This is the 8th release, and it is finished. It's essentially Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 that they finish for 180 days in Jamaican Allspice wood. So it's going to have something really unique to it, that a characteristic that is going to be different from tasting in a normal American style whiskey. So I'm looking forward to cracking it open and see what we got. Picked it up in the bottle shop on my way after the tour and after the barrel pick. And it was around $69, I think, for this half bottle. It's a 375 milliliter bottle. So they come in the half sizes, these experimental collections. And what's interesting about them is that they only come in that size, and they're kind of one-offs. But if it's something really good, such as this, or they have a high rye, or not a high rye, a barrel-proof rye. There was a high angel share, so it was from barrels that were lower yield, I guess, so a lot of evaporation. And so these kind of expressions that are really good, the high angel share was great, the barrel-proof rye was great. Obviously, we know the barrel-proof rye, they did do kind of a limited release of afterwards, and that's the limited release of this year of the single barrel strength rye. But I wonder if some of these have great acclaim, if they're going to keep going with them and do something else. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And as you can see, I like to show it is a fresh crack. I have not opened this yet because that's the whole point of the show. So crack it. It's a screw cap. Got kind of a faux tack strip on it. It says DSP TN1. Obviously, the Jack Daniel Distillery is the #1 DSP in the state. So pour a little there. Spilled a little, which is par for the course, I assume. All right, I'm going to come back here. And here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and nose it. So I get some of the kind of Jack Daniel's smell from it, which is obviously going to happen because it's Old Number 7 that they have aged for 180 days in this Jamaican allspice wood. But it's 100 proof as well, so it's a higher proof than just regular Number 7. Get some of those traditional notes, but it's got some more sweetness, some more fruit to it than just regular Jack Daniel's would. And a lot of times Jack Daniel's, you get that banana note. This is more maybe some citrus fruit in there, some some other sweet fruit, maybe apple. A lot of fruit on the nose, almost like a Four Roses kind of nose to it. Some of the Four Roses that I've had. All right, I'm going to dive in with the first taste. Oh, wow. I'm trying to pinpoint some of the tasting notes on that. Okay. I definitely taste the Jack Daniels. The proof is great. I like it being 100 proof. I'm getting some spice to it, and I'm guessing that's coming from the allspice wood. Maybe like a clove and some cinnamon. And it's probably throwing me off a little, and people can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think of like allspice dram, which is found in a lot of tiki drinks, very much a Caribbean liqueur. Kind of has some of those spice aromas and notes to it. I'm kind of getting that, but it's definitely a wood influence on the palate and on the finish. The finish is there for quite some time. It almost has a cocktail-like quality to it with all the different flavors that are going on. I'm getting American whiskey, traditional American whiskey, and a lot of that Caribbean flair to it. So Uncle Buck says, Greater Antilles, Southern Mexico, and Central America now cultivated in many warm parts of the world. I'm guessing talking about the allspice wood. Man, that is super unique. I'm going to go back to that bottle so you can see it again. But it is super unique. And I really am a big fan of this. It almost has some rums have kind of this on the finish, almost like I don't want to say this in this is not a negative way, but almost like the only way I can describe it, and Tarak would know because we had a rum one time that he had he let me try, and it was almost like a diesel note. There's almost something like industrial about the finish on it. And that's super unique. And it's not overpowering, but it's just right there in the back, almost like tire, diesel. And those are some notes that you can find in like a Scotch that I'm not a fan of. But this isn't bad. It's a positive thing to me. So Casey Jones said he's never seen these tasters in my area of Lower Alabama. I'd love to try. They're a Tennessee-only release, I found out. So we can get them in our stores if the store carries it. But you can get it also at the gift shop in Lynchburg. So that's a good reason to go to Jack Daniel's gift shop. We, like I said, Grease and I were fortunate enough to go on a rye single barrel pick and learned a lot, had a great time. This past Friday, we went with our buddy Zach Helton, the drink whisperer, who's Jack Daniel's ambassador, and Don, our buddy who owns Fairview Liquors and Fine Wines in Fairview, Tennessee. He does a lot of great store picks. We picked a heck of a rye barrel. So much flavor, so delicious. It's going to go like that, super quick. But we learned a lot. We had a great experience. They are taking a lot of precautions with COVID and everything. So, you get your temperature checked. They want masks on in the facilities when in social distancing and things like that. But it was a very positive experience. And I was nervous because I hadn't been to a distillery since March of last year when we went to Bernheim right before the world shut down. So it felt really good to get back into a distillery. Learned a lot. I'd been to Jack Daniel's several times before, but I had an A+ experience, and they really treated us well and showed us great Tennessee hospitality. And we picked a great barrel, but they also have their bottle shop, and they have a lot of cool things in the bottle shop that, they have the taster series. They had like 4 or 5 different ones you could pick. I bought 2. I bought this one, and I bought the barrel proof rye Tennessee taster, which is excellent. And they had one that was finished in like a wine cask or something like that, and one other. So I think it was 4 total they had there. And they also have 375s of the Sinatra Select. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It was about $70 for that. So if you don't want to spring for the full bottle, they have an experience to get a half-size bottle, which is cool. And it's still that unique thing. We tried the Sinatra Select when we had Jeff Arnett on the show when he was master distiller. Now Chris Fletcher, which we're going to try to get him on a drinking with or something to that effect, because he's super cool guy and we really like what he's going to bring to Jack Daniel's. But we tried Sinatra Select, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I had always kind of not scoffed at it, but thought maybe there's nothing to it. It's just kind of a little bit higher proof, and they're slapping a quadruple price tag on it. It actually is a very unique whiskey. And the inside of the barrels, we saw the inside of a barrel, it has grooves that go horizontal, the entire barrel, to open up and give kind of a different texture and allow for different aging. So they are specifically different barrels in the Sinatra Select barrels. But I'm going to check down here and see if there's any other questions or comments coming up. But if you come up to Tennessee and go to a liquor store or go to the bottle shop at Jack Daniel's, you can typically find some of the Tennessee tasters. So let's see, Trent says the barrel proof rye and the high angel share tasters are fire. Totally agree. I bought the barrel proof rye there at the gift shop. They didn't have the high angel share, which I assume there's probably not a lot of left. That was one of the very first ones they released. There's a hickory smoked one, I think, that also was released. Those were like the first 2. And now this is the 8th, this Jamaican Allspice. As far as the cost of this is, I think it was $68 or $69 at the gift shop. So not cheap. So you're looking $60 to $70 price range, depending on where you buy it. A lot of times bottle shops at distilleries are a few bucks higher. I know in Kentucky, I think that's because they're not supposed to undercut the liquor stores themselves because of the tiered system, but they still allow the purchase of commemorative or releases at the distillery themselves. So anywhere from the $60 to $70 price range for a half bottle. So it's not cheap for what you're getting, but it is definitely something unique. This is really, really good. I think I would definitely say buy on this. It's something like you've never tasted in bourbon, I feel like, or in Tennessee whiskey in this case, in this American whiskey, high corn mash bill. I just am a big fan. So as far as this one, I'm going to pour it for people. I'm going to get their take on it. We'll probably have to do this on a show because it's super good. But I'm just telling you, the complexity, the layers of it, the different flavors, it has kind of almost like a tiki cocktail kind of vibe to it. Although obviously not all the juice, but with the fruit nose and the spice in the palate and the finish, that's just very unique. I really am a big fan of this. I'd tell people to pick it up if they see it. Give it a go and let me know what you think. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to hop off here. Hope you're having a good Valentine's Day, and I hope that you are doing something fun other than just watching me. Hopefully you're catching this on the replay, or you're just enjoying drinking with Will. But I would say, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, ring the bell. Tomorrow night, Nate Woodruff, Whiskey with a View, coming on the show, the Drinking With show with me and Grease. We're going to have a good time. We're going to hang out for a little bit, learn a little bit about his story, and just do what we do best, which is just kind of enjoy company, drinking whiskey together, and taking some of your questions as well. We're going to be doing more content coming up on this channel as well. Grease does his show, which is called Killing It with Grease, which is essentially the yin yang version of what this show is. This is the Fresh Crack show. This is the first impression of a bottle. He is finishing off a bottle of whiskey, telling you some of the memories he made with that bottle, why he liked it over the course of it, how it changed over the course of it. It's a lot of fun. He's got about 3 of those episodes up, I think, maybe 4. You should go check them out. They're a lot of fun. It's his own greasy style. And then I also do Will's Week in Whiskey when news warrants. Not every week. I haven't been doing it just because there hasn't been a ton of whiskey news. We're in this kind of slump right now, but it's going to ramp up here as we get into the spring. A lot of announcements coming and things like that. So check it out, and you'll get all those whenever we post them. If you subscribe, that's all you got to do. We appreciate it. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here in the next month or so that we can unlock some of the features like going live from our mobile devices so that we can go live more often, do more fun things, just spur of the moment. But that's kind of the magic number that YouTube has, along with some other metrics that they measure that they will allow you to do said things. So don't forget to check it out. Anything else? Whiskey Weekend is coming up in the end of April. Check that out at whiskeytainment.com. It's a splash page. You'll learn all about it. And that's all I've got for you. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I will talk to you next time on another Fresh Crack.